So, you know those moments where you take a harmless little Christmas model and think, yeah, let's make something absolutely ridiculous. And today we're taking the PA1 Maker's Gingerbread Nutcracker and scaling it all the way up to 450%. On the Bambu Lab H2. Because it's December, self-control is overrated, and apparently I woke up wanting to terrify my friends and families with a giant biscuit soldier. And this video comes with this fair warning. Side effects may include increased festive spirit, reduced filament supplies, and explaining to your family why the heating's off because the 3D printers are all running. Let's get straight into this one.
You are watching a master at work.
Now, I'm sure if you're a frequent viewer of the channel, you'll know.
This channel is sponsored by PCBWay.
And from November 28 to December 31st, their Christmas big sale is now live. You can save up to 50% off and get free PCB color upgrades, including purple, matte black, and pink. They've knocked off 10% on their 3D printing materials, which is a nice little bonus for makers. If you're building any DIY projects this month, now is the perfect time to stock up. So check out the Christmas sale at PCBWay.com. Links, of course, are below. This model has been designed by designer PA1 Maker. I've been on their Patreon site for a number of years, and I've in fact printed this very model last year a lot larger at around about 250%. You can download this model, of course, on Colts 3D, and as always, all the links will be down in the description below, so make sure you check them out. Now, what I really like about this model is that it's support-free, has clean geometry, and is designed for color by layer printing, meaning without requiring an AMS. Having said that, the standard model here was actually freshly printed on the Bambu Lab H2C using the Vortex system. It took just over a day with color changes. As you can see, the print came out pretty much perfect. Next, we're going to be moving on to the model itself and how to slice it. Now, scaling might just be one number, but everything that happens after you type in 450 becomes a full-on Christmas miracle. I'm printing this across the entire range of Bambu Lab H2 printers, including the S, the D, and of course the new C. The H2S has the biggest build volume of the three, so that's where we're going to start. You can, of course, check out all of these videos on my YouTube channel. Links, again, will be down in the description.
It's the new Bambu.
Back into the slicing, and the only part that I'm actually going to delete will be the base, so scaling that would require splitting the model. I have a plan for mounting these models that I'll come on to later. Meanwhile, we will select the H2S as the printer, but we will be also sending the files to the D and the C in order to get this printed twice in around a week. Go through the slicing process so you know what to do if you decide to do something as crazy as this. Who knows? Right, we're going to delete this little bit at the bottom there because we're not going to need it. The problem with scaling, let's just change a few things around here. H2S is what we want. Just select that. Just thinking about it. Good stuff. We're going to go to global. We're going to make sure that we're going to now set this to high quality 0.2. Wall loops we're going to set to 3. And if we go down here, we're going to remove that from gyroid and we're going to change that to grid, and we're going to hit that up to around about 8%. That will change ever so slightly as we go through the model configuration, but ultimately we want it strong. So a couple of things I want to go through straight away. Now, as these models are print per layer, which means if you're doing a color change, generally the bottom might be green, then there's a red, and there's a green certainly on the hat here. We're going to just change that up real quick. So if we hit this button here, we're going to erase all the painting that's on there, hit red, and then we're going to zoom in a little bit there. Let's move this around. There's a couple of keys we can press here. If I press the control key, we can zoom in on that. Now, if we select the fill button and edge detection, we should be able to hit that, and that's exactly what we want to do. Easy. Press escape, come out of there. Now it's saying there's a gold here as well. I don't know what that gold is. Let's have a quick look. No, there's just those two on there. That's simple. Okay, so in regards to scaling these, I mean, you're just going to have to watch when you slice these. I think that's really the only model that needs it, but in regards to painting, I think everything else is pretty much white or red or green or whatever. So all we should need to do here is hit the scale button, which is this one here. We're going to change it up to 450%, which is pretty much the maximum that you can put on this printer. And let's move him over there a little bit. There we go. I'm going to hit the slice button. Now, you can play around with this a little bit, but Really, you want it as light as you possibly can. This is 1.5 kilos, so it's quite an amount of weight that's going to be on top. And of course, these are quite top heavy. So the fact that we've removed the base, I'm going to mount this onto a plinth, and it's going to be like a heavy stone. So that's the changes on that point. So we've got 1 day, 10 hours and 17 minutes for this particular print. We can change it up, of course. We want the top to be as light as possible, really. But if it does fall over, I also don't want it to break. So let's move this around. If we move him over just for a second, I'm going to select everything else. In fact, there are a couple of things I want to delete. I want to delete that one because we've already got that one here. And we're going to want to delete this one as well. The other thing we want to do is probably on this plate here. And if we go to objects, we can change the colors on these. I'm going to change these to white, mainly because I don't want to have to print brown, as I don't think there's a filament that I've got here at the minute. So I'm going to do these in white instead. Simple as that. Now, everything else now, I believe, can be scaled to 450%. You're going to just need to watch what you're putting into your printer. So if you've got white filament, just print the white bits. If it's green, then just print the green bits, red, etc., etc. Very easy stuff. And it might seem quite obvious, but you'll be surprised the amount of times people make mistakes. So here we go. We've got these all over the shop now. So let's move these things around. And try and get everything in. Of course, it's going to be a number of days worth of printing here, but we're going to get that done as quickly as we can. I believe everything here should fit on without too many issues. Set of boots here, and of course we're going to be printing these twice. Anything else that we might have a problem with, for instance, these guys here, they just need to be separated. You can't just select them individually. So you need to right click here and split into objects. That's it. So now if we hit the unlock button on this, whoop, here we go. So this plate is locked. So if we hit this button here, we can hit the arrange tool, and then we can add all the other white parts back in here without any issues. Again, you could probably put it into this plate as well if you wanted to. But with this particular part, I think we're going to need some supports on that, mainly because of these overhangs here. You could always risk it, but I will probably put a tree support onto that one. Again, this one goes here. One on there. His arms might just about fit. Let's add some more plates. Again, these are all now scaled up to 450%. There's a color change on the eyes there. A few more white parts here as well. Again, if the plate is locked, you can just unlock it. Let's move over. That's already unlocked. Nice. Okay, there's a few more parts here, of course. This is going to be kind of like the skin tone for the gingerbread man. Got a few connectors here, and we've got the hands as well. Now on the gold, what you'll find, in fact, that might need to go. Let's just spin this around a little bit. And the same with this one. This might need angling just slightly differently as well. Select the right thing. That might help. There we go. Excellent. Okay, a few more parts over here. We've got another white part here. Let's pop him up there. That's going to be the belt, I believe. Again, this is something that you might also want to just take out as a single print. Reason being, on this one, if you're going to look to paint the belt, and we do in this case, want this to be white on the middle and then red on the outside. You can then hit the paint button again, select red, edge detection, and pop. Easy. Might want to put the back as red as well, so to avoid as many color changes. It's only going to be that middle part there that's going to need to change. Now, next we've got the gold parts. And as we're going to be using silk, I would suggest probably printing these individually. There we are. Whoop. Let's add some more plates. Now, the problem we're going to have here is obviously this stick is going to be far too long, but there is a nice little trick that I want to show you, and this is pretty cool. So let's spin him around a little bit. So that's obviously too big for the build plate. We can all agree on that. Doesn't matter which way you put this, but what you can do is you can cut and you can add dowels to this, which is exactly what we're going to do. So if we select the model, hit this part here, and we can basically cut this however which way we want. Now, it's your preference, obviously, on how you choose to do this. If we move this down a little bit, we can certainly slice it here. And we can add connectors. Now, we can add a plug or a dowel. Each one of these has a different way of working. I'm probably going to use a plug for this one. Let's just see what the sizing is of it at the moment. That's obviously going to be too small, so we Control Z that. So let's look at the depth ratio. So let's put that in, probably about there. We'll guess this around about there. And what we're going to want to do is pop a hole in there. Now, the problem with that is obviously it's not going to be great on printing it in that way. So if we hit dowel, see what happens this time. Control Z that again. Let's move this back around again. Pop. That'll do. So let's confirm the connections there. And then we can then perform the cut. Now what we have is this already hollowed up along with a dowel. And then of course we can then do the same again. If we lay that flat. And if we check around on this side as well, you'll now see that there's a hole in this side as well. So we can do the same again. Chuck them in here. And we can hit cut. Just like that. It's really difficult when they put these things in the way. Let's move him over a little bit. Okay. We'll cut him here, I think. Add the connectors again. Same thing. Plop that on there. Try and aim for the middle. That wasn't great, was it? Let's go here. There we go. We'll go up a little bit, I think. That'll do. Confirm the connectors and perform the cut again. So now we're starting to be able to add each one of these dowels and each one of these rods into the right location. Let's see if we've got it right. Let's see if this is going to be able to fit on there. Oh, just look at that. So there we go. We've cut that down. And that should be a relatively easy print to cut that out. As I say, with some of these circles, so rather than going off the model, pinging between the two, and possibly picking up some blobs and stuff, I prefer to do them singly. So that's what we're going to print. We're not going to print them all on the H2S. We've got the D and we've got the C as well. And I've got a P2S here as well. So maybe I'll run a few of those up. But if we were to slice all here, okay, so we have a total of 10 kilos here. Man, that's expensive. 252 bucks. So we've got 11 days, 15 hours and 57 minutes. Of course, we are going across 3 to 4 printers in this case. Some of them are here are a day and a bit. Longest print I'm guessing here is 1 day, 7 hours, which is on plate number 1. Let's just check out and see what that is. Plate number 1 is, I believe, this one here, which again is the main part of the body. So there are 1 or 2 things actually I do need to change on this model. Goes without saying, didn't want to mess it up. Here we go. So let's hit that, erase the color again, and we want to go green on this. We turn off edge detection this time so we get that fully green this time. Now we're going to hit red, edge detection this time, and work that on the bottom. Again, these could be white or they could be a different color depending on what you have in stock. Let's go with white. That looks kind of cool. We'll do the same again on this one. Again, green, pop, edge detection. It's such a good feature. Red, white. Let's try again. There we go. Donk. There you go. Excellent. And of course, on here, Now, I messed this up, but hopefully you won't. But on the model, these things, they do need to be, or should be, gold. So if we go, we're going to do a different thing this time, but if we go here and hit this button here, we want this to be a little bit higher, we should be able to select that and move that down. That's pretty reasonable. Now, if you do this and you mess it up, which is exactly what I did, there's a couple of things you can do instead. And let me just show you what I did to resolve that. So if we grab this, select the plate. Now, it's a bit complicated, but we're going to go through it real quick. So I'm going to cut a couple of these sections up now. And everything's going to get in the way as per usual. Really wish they'd fix that and just move it out of the way completely. It's so annoying. Right, let's move it up. Let's go here. So what I ended up doing is, after the fact, let's move this over. I took this file, like this again. We only actually need one of these, so we can probably segregate those. Split objects. Cut that again. Just to about there. Perform cut. Okay, and then remove this part again. So this is what we're going to end up with here. And we're going to need 2 of these. So when you print, what you can try and do here is you can go into a different mode. Let me just show you how to do that. Here it is. Just like that. Yes. Then we'll go back to quality. Just double check everything. Okay, we'll hit the slice button now. And what we should have is the top will now be missing, as you can see here, right? So that helps us in some respects. We're also going to change the color of that because obviously it's going to be gold because that's what I messed up. Let's move that around again. Let's change them to gold. Like that. Okay, so we know that the top's going to be missing. We just need to sort out the bottom now. So what that allows us to do now is just have the model part. What we can do at the back is just slice that and just cut it, and we can glue that back onto the model. So fingers crossed that works. Right, with that slice, let's hit the print button. Let's get straight on into this one. Overall, this model is super easy to assemble. The key difference really is scale here. And when you scale a 3D model like this, the geometry scales perfectly, but the functional tolerances do not scale all that well. We're lucky here as the model really doesn't have any moving parts except for the mouth. The ears slot in on the left and right hand side, and for this I've used 3D glue to chemically bond the PLA instead of gluing. The top section of the head holds the hat on with a cross, and that all snaps together. Make sure when you glue the eyes on that they're straight, as a boss-eyed nutcracker does look a little bit psychotic. The gold top feather and the candy cane toppers finish the model off really nicely, and more gloop is added to the candy laces on the left and right arms. The golden balls sit on the top left and right shoulders, and the wrist cuffs and hands are held together with an insert. Next, the teeth pop in, the upper legs drop into the boots, and the middle V is nicely finished off with a 3-colour combo. The belt lower parts I've left unglued because I want to break the model down for storage for the next 11 months, which will make it easier all round. Then I add more big gloop to the little gloop pot, just in time for the bottom row of teeth to add into the cracker mech. The chest pieces here are really easy to put in, and the dowels are in for the head. The arms are then held together with the cracker mech, and this all just needs lining up. And finally, the arms are glued into place, and the golden batten, which was nicely sliced and dowed, finishes off the model to perfection. Well then friends, that's the first one done. I guess I should probably make a start on the second one. Again, thank you very much to our sponsors today, Filament Company, Polymaker, and of course PCBWay.com. So there we go, friends. This is the PA1 Maker Nutcracker at 450% times 2. All of the links for these models will be down in the description below, along with some affiliate links for Polymaker filament as well. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment section goes down below. And of course, what are we going to call these guys? Give me some names. Let me know in the comment section what these guys' names should be. We will see you next time. Merry Christmas.
You are watching a master.
I didn't glue the legs on! Ah! So, as I made it quite clear there, I did forget to stick the feet onto these plinths. Now, I went to our local hardware store and I picked up these mixed up stone concrete plinths, which are pretty cool. They are kind of undulated a little bit, but I kind of figured that not only would it stop the model from falling over, but it might also reduce possible thefts. It's the days we live in, unfortunately. So, the other thing I've got is this Gorilla Glue. It sticks anything and will bind plastic to stone and vice versa. So, I'm going to dob some of this straight onto the feet and attach it to the plinth. There we are. That's the first one done. Give it a little bit of movement around here. Put him in the middle as well. So the idea of this is we've got two locations. We've got one that we're actually going to have on Christmas Day, which is going to be left and right of the fireplace. These are massive, so you know, if you're going to print these yourselves, maybe 450 is a little bit over the top. The other place we're going to do is just outside the front door, left and right of the front door, as people come in on Christmas Day. There we go, pretty happy with that. Friends, thank you very much for watching. I know I've already done the exit to the video already, but have a great Christmas. We'll see you in the new year. Take care. Bye for now.
You are watching a master at work.